Hey, I wanted to do a quick video around authenticity because I've had a few conversations with people recently where we started to just talk about different ways that we hear of authenticity, like speak your truth, be yourself. And I think sometimes it comes across as like there's a way to be authentic that fits for everyone, but I really want to look at it as this recipe, like we're making like our own authenticity cake and deciding how sweet we want it to be. Maybe we want to add in like a little sourness, and we get to make some decisions, and just having it be about like conscious choice about these different things. I made an attempt to just like develop my own little definition of it, and it is a way of being that honors values, beliefs, and purpose, and also creates space for who we want to become. So a way of being that is taking in account all these things that are most important to us, the things that we hold closest to us, but that part about leaving space for who we're becoming, I feel like adds in this like permission that this isn't like a static thing, that how it is to be authentic is going to change or look different for us every day. And it's almost like this practice, this like adjusting of this like perfect recipe. So before we dive into the different parts that we're going to maybe decide that are working for us or not working for us, I want you to ask yourself, which parts of yourself are you unwilling to negotiate? So what parts of yourself are you not willing to negotiate? And just ponder that, think about it, or maybe jot it down and come back to it. And I have 4 different categories that I want to list off. And these are just categories for you to sit with, to assess kind of where you're at today, and then to ponder if there's any adjustments that you want to make. And keep in mind that these things might look different at work. They might look different with your grandmother. Showing up authentically with her might be different than how you're showing up authentically with your friends. So these might look different in different areas of your life. So the first category that I have is how you communicate, your word choices, and how you relate to other people. So this could be, like for me, for instance, I choose to kind of just dive into showing up with these videos the way that I would talk to a friend rather than being like really presentational about it. So what level works for you? If you are a college professor, it might be authentic for you to use a bunch of super big words, and that's authentic for you. Being authentic doesn't have to be like just using like cuss words and vulgar language. It depends on what it is for you. So how you're communicating, your word choices, how you're relating to people, and just like assess on a scale like where you want to lean into a little bit more, where you might want to hold back. The second part is personal style. So how authentically you're showing up with your personal style. I see that Bob, my husband, jumped on. So we were having a conversation about this, like he's a real estate agent, how sometimes it can be like you feel like you have to play the part of a real estate agent and dress like in a suit and a tie and be serious, but that might not be authentic. So it's like, how can you still like be professional, project like the best parts of yourself, show up how you want to show up, but take your personal style and kind of add it into that a little bit. So I want you to think as well that like we may be making judgments on other people's authenticity with the personal style part. Like this is probably a really bad example, but Donald Trump, for instance, there's a lot of us that don't like him, but he, I guess, is showing up super authentically, right? With the tanning and the hair choice. Like for some people, even though we might not like it, that could be like their version of authenticity. So yeah, just like where do you want to lean into more with your style and what that says about you? The third part is around like vulnerability, around truth telling and imperfection. So I think this part feels the most interesting for people that are managers, that have people that report into them, because it is kind of delicate with how much truth telling you're going to lean into, because it could really affect people's perception of like how stable you are as a leader, how comfortable they feel. So I want you to think about, because I think that this is just the part that comes into my head the most, is like, how vulnerable are you showing up on social media? Are you just showing your final product? Is there behind the scenes, or is there parts where you need to pull back a little bit, where maybe we're just like showing every aspect of our lives, and maybe that your level of authenticity is holding back a little bit more and keeping certain things private and only for a certain audience. So what's like the perfect blend and combination for you to be authentic? And then the last part that I thought of is how you view the world, how you're relating to other people, and how you share your beliefs or your energy with them. So I think that that's like the uncomfortable part of authenticity, is like how other people are reacting to it, because their perception is obviously their reality, and there's going to be people, the more like authentic you step into yourself, that really resist that aren't going to like it. They're going to feel like a little less connected to you. But I think the plus side is that the more you do step into authenticity, you're going to draw in and attract more of those people that actually are really your kind of person, that are your kind of friends, that are the right kind of clients for you. So I realize that this is kind of a double-edged sword with the authenticity. So I think what I really would love for people to do is just bring in like more awareness around it, around like how these different choices with authenticity are going to create connection, or maybe create criticism as well. Because I feel like there's both, and we have to, I guess, just make this decision to embrace both as well. So comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts on authenticity, what your recipe looks like, what your choices look like, maybe what parts are hard for you, and thanks for watching. Bye, everyone.